I was curious on when you were talking about this, which I found so fun. When you're looking at, deploying capital with your clients and so forth, I would imagine that there are some individuals where they're like, "Hey, let's take 20% of my net worth or whatever into this deal." And I think you mentioned this on our podcast as well, where there are certain opportunities where you may receive alpha, but the stress correlated to that alpha or to that relationship was not worth it. And I know we talked about that on our podcast a while back. And I want to get your perspective on that because I think there are opportunities where it's like, hey, we made some alpha, but at the end of the day, you stressed over that relationship with the founder, you were stressed over that fund manager, whatever it may be. It wasn't really worth it. And I want you to talk a little bit about that because the importance, like you mentioned, in a marriage you get divorced, but when you allocate capital, it's like, well, shit, we gotta work this all the way till the end here.
Yeah, I say all the time to my clients that, you shouldn't optimize to beating a benchmark. What you've already hit the home run, when you've got north of $100 million and you worked your butt off your whole life and you already took a lot of concentration risk to get there, you shouldn't be losing sleep at night. And so I say that we should really be optimizing to you sleeping well at night and not to, that risk. Um, so again, it's our job to make sure that we keep the client rich, self-servingly. It's like, because if they're not rich, I don't have a job. But more so, we want clients to be able to sleep at night. And so, unless you're like a gunslinger that shows up, usually clients understand that. When you're making investments, I say to my clients all the time on the small side, you want to make an investment that's large enough to move the needle for you, but not so large that it's going to break the bank. And so, sometimes when you're worth 100 or $200 million and you're making $100,000 investments, I mean, you're going to spend more time in administration and tax reporting than it's even worth on that particular investment. So, you really have to go through this journey to figure out, what's important to you and why do you make investments. And sometimes, listen, I'm guilty of this myself. Sometimes the investment is very emotional. You're backing somebody you believe or you have a relationship with, or you want to invest in that latest greatest restaurant that's going to be around the corner. Usually restaurant investments don't work out, and they're complete vanity. That said, some vanity investments have worked out really well for clients over the last couple decades. Investments in sports teams. Sports teams historically have been a big vanity investment, but because of the direction of sports team valuations over the last, call it 2 decades, many investors have really, really done really well in that trade. So, yeah, it's a journey. It's like life is a journey, and having wealth is a journey. And a lot of times when you first make, you have a first big windfall, your head's spinning and you want to make this investment, that investment, and that give to this friend and loan money to this friend and that. And you only learn all those things that they're mistakes by actually knowledge through pain, going through them and saying, geez, I won't do that again. But it's very important when you're learning that knowledge through pain that you're making those mistakes in small increments and not big increments, because the big increments, you don't want to have to go back to work. And that's what we're trying to guard against.
Yeah, someone told me once with a lot of money, you can build a very large mountain or a very big hole, so whichever one you want, but it'll be
I've
just,
done
it
both.
maximizes the, yeah.
I've done both. I've done both. I literally have done both. I have a huge investment in a landfill business. And sometimes there are investments that you get through them and you end up doing fine and making money on them, but they weren't worth the sleepless nights or the years that it took off your life. So
The stress associated with it. Yeah, I get you.